Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your East Oakland advocate. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make fried rice as an entree. And so today what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to make chicken fried rice. And the chicken meat can be pretty much any part of the chicken. I like to use the thigh and legs because that's the most flavorful and it's also the juiciest. The breast meat tends to dry out a little bit in the cooking process, but you can still use it. I have in the past just soak it longer in the soy sauce, and you might want to do this uh, about half an hour to an hour ahead of time so that the soy sauce can soak into the meat and flavor the meat. And so you want to see all the ingredients right here. I cheat. I use this. The peas and carrots in the frozen section, I don't have to cut them or dice them or anything like that. They're all ready to use right out of the package. Then I have eggs right here. We're going to use 4 eggs instead of 2. A lot of restaurants, when they make a single order, it's 1 or 2 eggs for a meal. I like to double that so that you have more volume. And then we have chicken meat right here. This is 2 legs and thighs, 2 of them. And that's going to be enough meat to feed at least 4, family of 4. And then again, soy sauce is the only other ingredient that you're really going to need, along with some cooking oil. And then what I like to do, I like to use at least day-old rice. If you don't have day-old rice, what you can do, cook rice, fully cook the rice, and then put it in a large, wide open container. I put it into a different container. I put it into a big wok right here, and then let it dry out over at least 24 hours before cooking it. And you want it fully cooked so that it's not crunchy or hard or what people call al dente. I like my fried rice soft, and so this is fully cooked. The water and moisture has been removed just from sitting out, and that's what you want. And then that will help when you're cooking it. The rice won't stick together like it traditionally does. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to show you how to do one of the most important parts. That's the fluffy eggs. And I'm going to show you how that's done. So I'm going to turn this around and we're going to get started. Okay, the first part is making the really nice fluffy eggs for the fried rice. And so we're going to start out, we're going to put some vegetable oil inside here. Don't worry about how much is going in here because that's going to come back to help you during the fried rice portion when you're actually cooking the rice and mixing everything together, and it won't stick so much. And so we're going to get this heated up. Get that started. It's on 1200 right now. We're going to beat the eggs, get them all mixed, get them ready for frying here. As this is the first step, frying the eggs, and we want them fluffy. And how you get fluffy eggs, you want to get that oil as hot as possible. So we have it up at 1200 degrees. We're going to wait till it almost starts smoking, but also we want a good coating of the oil all the way around the pan so that nothing sticks. It's going to take a few minutes for that to come up to temperature. But in the meantime, what we've done, we're all prepped. We have all the chicken meat all cut up here. There's 2 chicken legs and thighs. So that's one chicken lower, the dark meat. And then we have 4 coarsely ground or chopped up garlic right here. So that's 4 cloves of garlic, and we're going to put that in with the chicken when we cook the chicken, which is our next step. And so we're still waiting for the oil to come up to temperature. And you'll want to have a good spatula scraper. This is a Chinese cooking spatula, and we're going to use this for cooking the eggs once we get up to temperature here. Should just take another moment or so. It's almost there. Yeah, it's just starting to smoke. So we're going to go ahead, get a good coating all the way over, and then we're going to put the eggs in there. And you see how it fluffs up? That's what we want. We want fluffy eggs. And again, like I said, don't worry about the oil, the excess oil on here, because that's going to come back to help you during the actual cooking process. But you see how that oil really made that egg really fluffy? That's what we want. That's what gives us volume when we go cooking our rice. We want that volume, and we want to break this up nicely. And you see, that's pretty much done right there. And we're just going to put it right back in the same bowl that it came out of it, because it's not going to hurt it. In fact, it's also just going to continue cooking that hot oil inside of there. And so we're going to leave that, put this back in, chop this up just a little bit more. And now we're going to get this back up to temperature. We're going to put a little more oil in there. Now we're going to let that come up to temperature, and then we're going to put the chicken in. We want this hot. Okay, we're pretty much up to temperature. We're just going to go ahead and put all this in. Get that frying. You want to get this cooked. You can see that there's soy sauce in there that has soaked in, which is more than enough salt than we need for right now. And then we're going to add the garlic. This is going to give the chicken some flavor, additional flavor, but also it's that flavor that tends to be very light in your fried rice, and that's the garlic. I like lots of garlic. It's good for you, number one. It adds a lot of flavor, adds aroma. But we want a good cook on the chicken. We don't want to throw any of that fat away. And it smells really good right now. And at this point, we could add a little bit more soy sauce to this. And then what this does, it also helps distribute the soy sauce without pouring more on the rice. So this becomes kind of the gravy, kind of like a gravy, a liquid gravy that enhances the flavor, because number one, it has the soy sauce, it has the garlic, and then it's also rendered out a lot of the chicken fat. And so that fat is the flavor that's really important for the dish. You see how the chicken's just about all cooked now. And again, we're not going to drain off any of this, because the next step, we're going to fry and dry out the rice some more. But we're going to get it moist with some of the juices right here. So a few more minutes on this to cook. I like using a wok because it's easy and the heat is distributed evenly around the wok. The circular shape. You could use a flat bottom frying pan, which works, just not. It doesn't seem to be as efficient as a wok. So we're going to put this right back in again the same bowl that it came out of. Now that it's all cooked, you see everything looks really good here, and we want to get good portion, pretty much all of this out of here, and then get the wok back up to temperature. And this is one of the nice things I like about making Chinese food and using a wok. You can pretty much use the wok is one tool that you can use for pretty much anything, and it works really well. Again, we're going to bring this back up to temperature. Turn this back on, and 1200. We're going to go 1400. Again, we're going to put a little more oil in here. This time, not so much. And this time we're going to be putting in the rice once we get up to temperature. So it's just about there. And so what we want to do, we want to put the rice in. And this is still kind of moist. And then there's going to be a lot of dry kernels. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We want dry and wet together. And that's why we have the oil in there, so that things don't get too dry. And we want to break it up. And you want to keep the rice in motion while you're heating it up, breaking up the clumps as you go. You can also preheat the rice in the microwave. We're just about at a point where we can add a little bit of the soy sauce. Add just a little bit of soy sauce for color. Be sure to keep things moving, because if you don't, things will start sticking to the pan. So you want to keep the rice moving. We want to dry the rice out. It's still a bit too wet. And now what we want to start doing, this is just about where we want it, because it's just starting to turn fry the actual rice in the wok here. And so what we're going to do, we're going to first add all of the eggs in. That's going to add moisture and also some of that oil that we had that I told you not to be concerned with. This is where it's going to start helping out and keep things from sticking. You want to get a good mix here with the eggs, keeping the rice moving and drying. And you see how that's drying out nicely, and the kernels are pretty well distributed, so we don't have too much plain soy sauce rice, but we do want to dry it out. We still want the drying action. Next thing that we're going to do, we're going to be adding in the peas and carrots. And the peas and carrots, you can either use fully frozen or you can have them slightly thawed. I like to use 3/4 of a bag of peas and carrots so that there's plenty of color. We start mixing this in. We're going to put more peas and carrots in there because that was just 1/3 of a bag, the leftover from my last batch. See how this is nicely drying out? This is just right. This is just how you want the rice. You don't want it too soft and sticking together. You want it a little bit sticky, but not real sticky. So we add in a little bit more. This is one way to get your kids to eat their peas and carrots if they're the type of kids that don't like to eat peas and carrots. This is one way that my parents got me to eat peas and carrots. That was difficult with vegetables. We'll see how that's coloring up nicely. We got lots of volume. Whoops. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, and now we're just about ready to add in the chicken. You see all that juice goes in there. That's going to add a lot of flavor. Now with all that meat added in, that becomes an entree because you got all your meat, you got your vegetables, you got your starch in there. And so right now we're just drying this out some more, making sure everything's hot. And then we're going to put in the last ingredient, which is the green onions. So this is going to take a little bit of time to cook a lot of that moisture out of there because we added a lot of moisture. You see how dark the rice got because we got the soy sauce and everything in there from the chicken. And it's that simple and that quick and easy. And right here, that was one, we stretched 1 cup of rice, plain white rice, and now we've made a meal for a family of 4 with chicken, which is not that terribly expensive. This entire meal right here probably cost about $12 total with all the ingredients. It's just a matter of time. Your prep time is about 20 to 25 minutes, which is cutting up the chicken, cutting up the green onions, and that's it. And if you don't have the rice left over from the previous meal or anything, you can make fresh rice, and you can use that. Uh, but the best way to do it, if you have the time, is with 2-day old rice. You want it semi-dry, and then the final step is going to be adding the green onions. So right now we still want to dry things out. And you see, we're starting to brown the bottom, which is good. That's actually frying the rice, and it's helping dry the rice out. And that's what we want to do. We don't want it too wet. That's why the Chinese cooking spoons like this work really well. You can cover a lot of area, toss a lot of material, and flip a lot. Doesn't that look good? Yeah. And you can do this to your liking. You know, this is still a little bit wet for me, but it's at a point where you can serve it, and it looks good, it tastes good, everything's perfect right there. And next thing we do, like I said, we just dump all of the green onions in, and we're going to just kind of spoon it, get a good mix on it, get color distributed all through the rice. You can see it's got lots of nice color, good volume. You see where we are now versus where we started, considerably more volume right now. And folks, you can get at least seconds off of this. So everybody can get a couple of bowls as a main entree on this. Again, like I said, this probably is, from my estimation, not even $15 right here. And this has enough meat where it can serve as a main entree. It has all your vegetables inside, has your carbs, everything that you need. Just that simple. We are ready to go, and at 21 minutes, so with prep time and everything, this still comes to under 45 minutes with prep time and cook. And for $15, especially with the hard times right now, this is a deal. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy this when you make it.